I want somebody to give me an example of professional competence. Starting with Yan.
So you what you doing that means specific.
Yeah, can you think of something?
Well, last time when Solos was teaching, he said something about like he taught a class which was about aviation, and he was able to like give really well detailed extra information on that, and the cadets came out tracking for him, which was really good.
There you go. So a little bit of a confidence booster there for our Solos, but yeah, good example. So you know, if you project the fact that you're competent and you know what you're doing, your cadets will respect that more, okay? And that's an example. Like they were happy with what Marcel Salas was able to teach them and the information he was able to relay onto them, right? So it just boosts the confidence of your subordinates in you as a leader, okay? But it also, more importantly, boosts your own personal confidence. Show of hands, have you guys ever felt not confident when you were given a task and when you were supposed to step up as a leader? Okay, everyone I'm sure has experienced this. I've experienced it many times as well. And one of the big things to that is preparing yourself to be competent, okay? If there are questions, ask them. If you need to do research, do it. But try to become as competent and as proficient in whatever subject you're supposed to teach as you can, okay? Make sense? Good. Then the third character trait that we have is personal discipline. Personal discipline shows an amount of professionalism that is not able to be demonstrated otherwise, okay? If you are, for example, supervising a group of cadets, okay, and you are telling them to go and sit somewhere and wait for the bus. Let's say we're at the swimming pool, we're waiting for a bus to arrive, and you tell your cadets to sit somewhere, but you as staff are fooling around, well, what's the discipline that you're showing there, right? So it kind of goes along with leading by example. So remember to lead by example, because if you are showing a high level of personal discipline and you're disciplined yourself in the way you dress, the way you behave, your cadets will take note of that and they'll follow you and do the same thing as well, okay? This goes back to thinking at the very beginning, just before we started this, the person and the quality traits that you thought of that person, same sort of thing, right? You're going to be mocking whoever your leader is. You're going to be wanting to become like your role model, okay? And you are all role models to other cadets, and I just want to stress that again. Okay, so having personal discipline will not only give you more confidence, but also will make your subordinates have more confidence in you as well. And before you can give orders, you must be disciplined enough to take them. Okay, and this is something that just goes along with learning. But you know, a common example is when you guys as senior NCOs go and give orders to other cadets, you'll probably first have received them from a warrant officer or from an officer, right? So you take orders and then you give them, and you must be disciplined enough to take corrections as well, okay? So if you are able to be disciplined in a sense, then you can also discipline your cadets, okay? But having professional discipline is more important and is also more difficult to attain. Why would you think it's more difficult to discipline yourself?
You naturally want to be easier on yourself.
Okay, so you want to be easier on yourself. You know, you also have maybe this thought of yourself as like being the almighty, okay? But you have to be open to criticism and to accepting the fact that there are things you can work on, okay? And that sort of goes along with personal discipline. And lastly, we have a sense of responsibility. Sense of responsibility is another one of the important character traits that help you get things done quicker, okay? And more efficiently. If you feel responsible for an action or for a task, then you're more likely to perform better at it than if you're not, okay? To give you an example, have any of you guys ever worked in a group project at school before? Okay, yes. Okay, good. So school projects, group projects, I just like them because there's always the slacker. There's always somebody who doesn't have or doesn't take on the responsibility to do their part of the work, and then you're stuck doing it, right? And that is where the sense of responsibility comes into play, because you as a leader must be alert and you must take on the responsibility to understand what your task is and how to look after your cadets, okay? You must encompass all aspects of your assigned duties, okay? So if you are told to set up a fire picket or to go collect firewood, you have several tasks, okay? You have to think about how you want to split up the cadets you have to give the cadets their orders, you have to then supervise the cadets, okay? There's all kinds of aspects that come along to any duty that you're given. And having the sense of responsibility to look after them all and to kind of manage yourself better is going to help you become a better leader. But most importantly, you must be responsible and you must be able to take responsibility for your actions, okay? Something that doesn't get done too much anymore is that senior NCOs are afraid. You guys are sometimes afraid to take action, to go and do stuff, okay? Don't be afraid to just take action anymore. Go out there and make decisions, okay? Learn from your mistakes, but also take the responsibility for your actions, okay? So if you tell cadets to do something and it doesn't work out too well, and then a senior, warrant officer or an officer kind of corrects you on it, accept that as positive feedback, okay, as a form of criticism that's going to help you. So take responsibility for your actions. Don't be afraid to make decisions, guys. It's going to be important for you guys to just make decisions, learn how to make them, and then just take, whatever happens, okay? And whatever happens, it's either going to be positive or maybe something negative, but either way you're going to learn from your actions, okay? So don't be afraid to make decisions. That's the only way you're going to learn, okay? Perfect. So those are sort of the 4 character traits. Is there any questions about the character traits at all? Okay, so the next thing we're going to go over are the qualities of a leader. What you'll notice in a second is that the qualities and the principles of leadership kind of intertwine, okay? Some things are going to be similar in both aspects, but qualities of a leader are going to be one of those components that are going to help you realize how to lead your cadets better, okay? How are you going to get your cadets to trust you and follow your orders more in a more precise way almost, okay? Has anyone ever had a leader whose qualities you didn't like? Okay, there's always somebody that, you've thought of someone and they were like, man, that person, you can't respect that person, I just don't like their qualities. How did you act when they were giving you orders? How did you react to that? Was it a positive way? Did you want to go do the task that this person told you to go do, even though you didn't respect them at all? You didn't think they had any good qualities to them?
Kind of fight them a little bit.
Yeah. So sometimes even you can push back, right? Your subordinates can kind of give you a push back and be like, well, I don't want to do that. Okay? And there's always those cadets, and I think Professor Porty experienced this a little bit in her class the other day, right? These sort of things happen sometimes. I'm not saying the qualities are bad. I'm just saying people are pushing back. So there's always going to be cadets that are doing that, and if you can encompass as many of the qualities of a good leader as possible, then you're more likely to be able to have things done your way, okay? So the way I've set this up is that I've put up pictures, and I want you guys to guess what quality of leadership that is, okay? Kind of interactive, so think about what the picture might mean and what quality it is. Okay, yes?
Honesty.
Honesty, good. Because what happens to Pinocchio when he lies? His nose grows. Okay, good. So, honesty. When we're talking about honesty, why would it be important to be honest to your cadets? And that doesn't mean that you're necessarily always giving them full instructions, because you can sometimes tell cadets to do something but leave out a component. That's not necessarily honesty, that's just omission. But actually lying to your cadets, okay? Why would that be no good?
Because the lack of trust between the two would hurt each other eventually.
Right. Okay, so there's going to be a lack of trust. So if you're telling your cadets to do something like maybe set up a mod temp, which is potentially dangerous, because they can, I don't know, pinch their fingers, the poles can drop on their head or something. If they don't have trust in you as a leader to supervise them effectively, then they're probably going to be less likely or less